Now, you called this an Anastasi oven. We're in the Red Rock Canyon, just above the Sandstone Quarry parking area. Down below, it is near the end of April, and you can see the Rainbow Mountains in the sunrise. But what we have found, I'm with Jean-Luc Montier, and he was the former director of a national park in the French Alps. So guess what? We found another Native American cooking oven here, and Jean-Luc's going to describe what we're looking at.
So hi guys, once again we are close to an Anasazi oven. As you could see, he have the same crater shape as the one we saw a week ago in Lovell Canyon. That was on the back of the ridges over there. But all along the bottom of these mountains, there were several other ovens, and just it proves that these people was migrating a lot and moving a lot to don't exhaust the resources in their place. So once again, come back to the oven, the same shape. This is where you accumulate some wood, you recover it with some stone, and basically sandstone or limestone. The sandstone don't lose too much the color when it burns, but the limestone become white. And if you continue to cook it, it will be a plaster one day. You know, you could use it like that, or corks. And so basically, once again, you put a layer of wood, you recover with stone. When the hunters come back, you turn on the fire. The fire will hit the stones, not too much, not at the point of boiling point, but the aim is to have to do some kind of jerky. So when you turn on the fire, you take care of the meat on the side, you slice it in a very thin slices, and then you put these slices with a stick over the stone when the fire is out, and it slowly dehydrated the meat, and you could preserve like that the meat for a very long time. I mean, at least several years. So basically, it helped the tribes to have a regular protein source all along the winter. And it's an easy. It's dehydrated. It's weight. It's very light, easy to carry. You have to travel. You put two, 3 slices in your pocket and then on your backpack, and then you're good for the day. So it's an easy way to dehydrate things. So the next step is to do pemmican, and pemmican is the jerky that you smashed. You rehydrated a little bit. You had some berries and some juniper berries or some other berries that you could find, and you mix it well, and then you dehydrate it again. So pemmican is pretty interesting because the first pioneers in America discovered the pemmican with the native Indians, and they discovered that the C vitamin in the pemmican could avoid the scorbut. And basically, the English Navy was much more superior to the French Navy during for a while, because they used this technique to don't have scorbut on the boats where many sailors passed away. So it was an Indian know-how that was transmitted to the first pioneers that helped the pioneers to come back much harder in America. So it's a strange story. The first step is to do the jerky.
Okay, and these ovens you've said before, are separated by about 10 miles. And
Approximately, yeah.
the tribes were nomadic, and so they'd go from
Yeah,
oven to oven,
yeah.
and they'd exhaust the resources in one location and
Yeah.
then go to their next oven 10 miles away.
So, for example, if you take a look at the Turtle Peak over here, imagine having a herd of bighorns. So you use everybody in the tribe to circle the mountain. You push the bighorns on the top, and then you have the perfect killing zone on the top where all the bighorn sheep are accumulating, and it helps to select the old animals, and it helps to make a natural selection on the herd. You kill what you want to kill. It's not a free hunting where you will shoot at the first animal you see, which is very bad to save the resources. So you circle the mountain, then you select your prey. You kill the prey you want. For example, the old male, the old female that can't have babies no more. You save the female and the babies, and that way you will have some prey for the next year. But when you do that, you have to cook it fast because of the heat. So that's why you have a oven here. So when you cook the meat, boom, you have to migrate in another place. In the Lost Creek Canyon, there's the next one, etc., etc. I know 2 or 3 all along the valley, and turning the mountains, and on the back of the mountains where we were last week, there's other ovens too. So you do a kill in this place, you cook the meat, you prepare the meat, and then you migrate to the next oven. And by the way, you collect plants, berries, fruits, roots, everything you need for food and medicine, and for fibers from the yuccas, etc. And you don't exhaust the poor resources that you have on the place. So migrating is the way to survive.
Now, you called this an Anastasi oven, and that was a little confusing to me because I thought that it was the Southern Paiutes
Yes.
who were in this area.
Yeah,
Can you explain that?
Yeah, the Anastasies were the first inhabitants here in these places, but they disappear for pretty unknown reasons. Nobody really knows why they disappear, but they disappear around the mid 13th century, way before Christopher Columbus discovered America. And there is a gap of 100 to 200 years before the next tribes reoccupy these territories. So probably some of the ancient Anastasies regroup with these new tribes, these new occupiers in this place, and the Paiute probably use the same technique than before. But the Anasasis Indians, means the Pueblo Indians that were here in the whole southwest of America, were the one that create this technique.
So, are you saying that this oven we're looking at could predate Christopher Columbus?
Oh, absolutely. They are probably more than 1,000 years old, and but you could see that this accumulation of debris. You could imagine how long it took to do such a thing. It's a huge accumulation of debris, especially because you are lighting a fire all several times a year, and it makes the stone breaking and becoming tiny debris. So basically, it's a sand of tiny debris that makes a lot of big rocks that were used to cook the meat, to dehydrate the meat.
And then you can still see the ashes in the
Yes, absolutely.
under the stone.
So once again, you have the sandstone right here. So it don't change too much the color, and it was easy to carry the stone from the rocks at the immediate proximity. This is limestone, and limestone that cook too much become white. And if you dig a little bit, I don't want to destroy the place, but you could see ashes, the remnants of the ashes, and this was the wood that they used to eat the stones. So there's plenty. So
Pretty
you could,
amazing.
yeah, it's pretty amazing technique. And yeah, the principle is to dehydrate the meat very slowly at a low temperature, and that's why the stones accumulate the heat from below, from the wooden fire. The wooden fire will go slowly because the rocks recover it. So it is the good technique in such place to preserve the meat, you know.
Okay, so yeah, I've walked past this number of times, and I'm sure that other hikers in the area, since this is in a very popular area right above the Sandstone Quarry parking area, the main Turtlehead Peak and Calico Tanks Trail parking area. A lot of people have walked past this and never understood that they're looking at an oven that predates Christopher Columbus. Okay, onward. We have a lot to explore today. We'll explain our adventure in a moment. Okay, today's adventure is going to be exciting. We're going to do the notch between La Madre and El Padre Mountain. What you're looking at behind me is the La Madre Mountain ridgeline. And to point out the mountains, on the left is El Bastardo, and then El Padre and La Madre. La Madre is on the right. And between El Padre on the left and La Madre on the right, there is a notch southern passage, and it's fairly steep. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to start from here just above the Turtlehead Peak trailhead area, and we're going to catch the Limestone Trail ahead and then take that trail over to a passageway between Red Rock Canyon here and the Brownstone Basin. We're going, once we get in the Brownstone Basin, we're going to be skirting the base of the La Madre Mountain cliff line till we reach the point just below that notch passage. We're going to begin ascending the notch passage at that point. When we get to the summit, if we get to the summit, no promises here, but when we get to the summit, we have a choice of either going to La Madre Mountain on the right or El Padre Mountain on the left. And by the way, you can take that entire ridgeline all the way to Level Canyon and the Wilson Ridge. We're not going to do all that. We're just going to see if we can get to the top of that notch today. So that's today's adventure. Looking forward to it. Going a lot faster if we weren't. Now let's get a picture of you with the mountains in the background. Okay, here we are, and you can see the difference between the Turtlehead Peak Trail and the Limestone Trail. This is very important. Turtlehead Peak Trail, if you've ever gone to Turtlehead Peak, goes off in this direction. You can see my trekking pole leading up that ridge. The Limestone Trail is what we want. And as you can see, the trails are not marked. And so look at this trekking pole, and then you can see a very faint trail heading off in this direction. What we're going to do is we're going to skirt the edge of the rock formations and we're going to go all the way up this main wash, and at the near the summit of the wash, it's going to split, and the split to the right is going to take us over toward La Madre, El Padre Mountain on the left, La Madre Mountain on the right, where we're going to ascend the notch. So this is just a very important demarcation point to recognize the direction you need to go. Okay, here we are, continuing up the Limestone Trail. Just want you to notice that you can see signs of people walking if you look carefully, and that lets you know you're on the Limestone Trail. But don't worry if you lose the trail. Just stay right along this ridge line ahead. So stick to the ridge line, and the trail will appear and disappear a number of times. In fact, I think right now I'm just a little off the trail, and here we are climbing through some prickly spots, and then boom, I'm right back on the trail. So anyway, stay just to the right of the base of this ridge line as you continue upward. I'll know soon. So let me do a quick. Okay, we've ascended the wash from the Turtlehead Peak Trailhead, and we're on the Limestone Trail. The canyon makes a split right about this point, and you'll see that it heads up in this direction. And so we're going to head up here, and I always lose the Limestone Trail just about every time I do it, but I believe this is the split. Another option is to go further up and circle around, but circle around to the right. But we're going to try this one.
So we are here following the dry bed on the bottom of a slot canyon, and suddenly I see this rock. So this rock is made of limestone, the gray matter. The name of it is dolomite. This is the real name of this gray rock. It comes from the Dolomite Mountains in the north of Venice in Italy. And embedded on it, you could see these white and brown traces. So this basically is the fossils of ancient corals in a shallow ocean. So basically, we could see that this formation was created from the top to the bottom, making these parallel layers, and then was stuck on it the corals. So it means the corals don't live too deep on the ocean. So it means that this rock was made on a shallow ocean that recovered this part of the country long time ago, 250 million years ago, I believe, during the Jurassic period, or before the Jurassic Cretaceous period. So it's pretty interesting to read the geology. The water cut through these rocks, creating these cuts through the rocks. So basically, the erosion works in two ways. The first step is what is called as weathering. Weathering is the action of the the water, snow, ice, roots, anything that could break the rocks in parts. And then, so this is weathering, for example. And then erosion bring the debris away down below, following the gravity rules. So basically, if we have this, the bottom of this canyon, it means that originally there were a crack in these stone layers, and the water find it easy to enlarge these tiny crack in the beginning, enlarge it in the canyon. And if you turn the camera on the other side, David, you will have a beautiful view over the whole Red Rock Canyon.
Wow.
And it's pretty beautiful and amazing to see it from here.
Perfectly framed. And by the way, we came up, we turned right one wash too soon. And so we're in a narrow wash, required a little bit of scrambling over rocks. I'd call it class 3, but very short scrambles, only about 5-6 feet high. And in fact, there's one ahead here, not too bad. And yet, this is going to reconnect with the probably easier limestone trail.
So you just saw the pinion tree, and back in the wash, there is the pinion pine tree cones, and you could see some here. The next flash flood will push them on the slope, and they will disseminate all along the valley. But here, one of those cone pops up the seeds away, and you can see the seeds here. And it's a very good food and source of protein. It's an easy thing to collect and to eat, to break the shell, and it's pretty good. It have a very nice flavor, and it's also a nice cure to the all the aerial way to breathe cure. It helps a lot. It's a kind of medicine for the throat and the lungs. Pretty interesting to know that, especially in this place where there's not a lot to eat. If we go higher, I expect to show you some other edible things.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. An interesting fact about the pine trees is that most of it are edible, and every kind of pine trees or Christmas trees are interesting in the survival point of view, because you could eat or make a tea with the needles. You could use the sap to stitch a cut on your skin, or to eat it and it cure your throat. Or you could use the bark to do infusion and make a kind of tea. There's a lot of C vitamins in the needles, and in such a canyon where when you could see some roots popping out of the edge, there's a lot of sugar and protein stored in the roots that you could eat, and it helped to survive in such place.
Wow. Well, that's good to know.
So the flowers, you see the top of of every new branch, it makes a bud. The buds are very good too. Huh? So when you eat a bud of such a tree, don't take the ones that are at the extremity of the branches. Try to hit one inside the tree because he won't hurt the tree. Otherwise, if you cut the bud at the extremity, it will hurt the tree. But inside the tree, that's good. That's pretty good.
Did you just eat one?
Sorry?
Did you just eat one?
Hmm?
Okay.
I have it here.
Amazing.
I throw away the things around it, but look at that. There's plenty. Pretty good.
Okay, so Jean-Luc has been eating pine seeds and pine buds, and so we'll see if in a few hours he's still alive, and then if he is, then it's okay.
Don't worry, I did that a lot, and I'm still here. The good thing is that this flavor is have this kind of sap and tree flavor. You know, it's very interesting. It's very good for the throat. You know, by the way, have plenty of active substances that pharmacy use a lot. And back in the days, the people used these things to cure themselves. So it's a pretty interesting source of food in a place where, just like you can see, nobody could find easy food. You know, it looks dry, but if you pay attention, there's plenty to eat. The principle is that in your way, you have to eat everything you find. You know, you don't make a meal. You don't have a breakfast and lunch and supper. You eat all along your way.
And that's actually better to eat many meals rather than
you
just
eat everything you find.
A few big meals.
Yeah. Plus, you don't have to carry it in your backpack. You carry it in your belly.
Nice.
And it's much lighter. Another example is this juniper tree. We have the fruit right here. And if you collect these berries, you could smash it to make a kind of flour. The flavor is not that good, but it's very nourishing. But the most important is on the trunk. So as you could see, there's a lot of debris.
Okay, on the trunk down there.
On the trunk. And by the way, guess what? I just found a golden nugget on the trunk. Look at that. There's a golden nugget stuck here. Really, no joke. So whatever.
What do you mean?
Yeah, there's a golden nugget stuck in the trunk. I will.
So you mean an actual nugget of gold?
Yeah, I will try to remove it after
Okay.
showing you that.
We're rich.
Yeah, we're rich. And it's a pretty good one. A pretty beautiful one. I will take a picture and show you later.
Okay.
So the bark of the junipers have a unique particularity, is that when it's raining, the water stays on the surface of the bark and fall down. So if you have to turn on a fire during a rainy day, you remove the upper layer of it, then you reach the second one, and this one will be very dry. So use that to start a fire. It's very easy to collect. It's a fiber thing. So basically you do that, you smash it, you make a kind of nest, and then you start the fire on this nest of debris. You could do that. It helps a lot. And you see how it will easily ignite. So another useful trick in the nature. But now we have to take care of the golden nugget on the...
Okay, let's find that golden nugget.
So come here and try to make a movie of it.
Okay, let's... Ooh.
You see it?
Is that
I don't know.
Actual gold or is it sap?
We will see that.
Okay, just a second.
It should be sap, but
Aha,
you never know. You see it? Okay.
called Juniper Fool's Gold.
So so we'll try to remove it. It was sap. I don't know if you will see it.
Let's see, just a second.
I have to
Oh, it's on the knife.
Yeah, on the top of the knife.
Okay, let's see. Put it in the sunlight.
Yeah, I try to. Look at that. It's shiny as gold. So it's pretty.
All right.
My golden nugget.
Now I have a question about the juniper tree. I understand that not every juniper is edible, that there are some kinds that are poisonous. How do you know the difference? So rather than just, so everyone doesn't go out and eat whatever juniper seeds they find.
The flavor could be very sour, but I don't know any toxic ones.
Okay.
I'm not sure if there's only a toxic one. Many countries use the fruit to perfume the pork meat, or in Germany, in Alsace, they use it to do the sauerkraut.
Hmm.
And they use a lot, probably 20 seeds per.
Okay, so it's kind of like cloves.
Yeah, they use
It's
it
a
to
kind of
flavor
spice.
the food. So I don't know any that could be toxic.
Okay.
I mean, in these latitudes,
Mm-hmm.
I don't have knowledge about junipers in the tropical or subtropical countries, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so. They like dry places and acid ground, that you could know it because of the limestone that we are
Mm-hmm.
around here. So the pH is pretty um, pretty good for these trees to grow. But all of the juniper trees, pine trees, adapt themselves to a place where they don't have too much competition with other plants. They were born before all of the most recent trees. They are pretty old in the histories of the trees.
Mm-hmm.
They come just after the ferns, but they had to migrate and adapt in such poor ground, not a lot of water, huge difference of temperatures between the summer and the winter, or during the day and the night, poor resources in mineral salts, etc. So they adapt pretty easy to poor conditions, and they have not a lot of competitors.
Mm.
So we are here today at the bottom of this not so deep canyon, but on the ground we could find samples of rocks that were, before the erosion, much higher than the surface today. They were pushed away from the slope over there, and here there is interesting rocks. For example, this one, you could see some shiny spots on the face of the broken rock, and this one too, some shiny spots. This is crystals. So basically, this one is the same composition than this one. This one is both of it are limestone, dolomite limestone. But this one, we could say that this one was buried much before this one. It means that it was deeper, and because it was deeper, there were a lot of pressure on it that starts to cook the rock. That brings a different color, because pressure means reorganization of the crystals all together. There is a kind of movement like that, and that creates a heat. So it cooked the rock much hotter, and then starts a process of crystallization on this one that you could see here. This one too. There's different interesting rocks. This one have some too, and you have some calcite here on the side. It means that this one were touching some water or spring and under the ground. So it's pretty interesting to have a look at what appears as common gravel all around, you know. But in the geologic point of view, it's pretty interesting.
Isn't that the same kind of pressure that results in diamonds, the formation of diamonds?
Yeah, but the diamond use the core of volcanic activity. So not only they come from much deeper than this one, because this one are sedimentary rocks. They were accumulating rocks on the bottom of an ocean, but the most of the diamonds forms in the core of a volcanic chimney that try to pop up to the surface, and the temperature and pressure are 1,000 times bigger than the formation of this one. But what is interesting here is that you could see, just to have a look at these two rocks, is to think that this one was created by accumulation of the in the bottom of an ocean much sooner than this one. There's probably millions of years of difference of accumulation, you know. But this one, because it was buried first, receive all the pressure of the accumulation of the upper layers on it. So then start the process of crystallization on the rocks.
Fascinating.
Yeah, pretty interesting. And what I like in these things is that it seems gravels, you know, but if you pay a closer look, you try to think about it, and you could find a little bit of history just in 3 square foot of the surface of this dry canyon.
Lose anything? So here we are. We actually hit the ridge a little higher than the actual Limestone Trail. I think the Limestone Trail is just one canyon below between us and Turtlehead Peak, which is right here. But we needed to be up here anyway. I think we turned left just a bit too soon. We'll find out as we go. But yeah, look at this view. Red Rock Canyon, the Rainbow Mountains. Here's Blue Diamond Hill. As I mentioned, the Rainbow Mountains. And there's El Bastardo, and I think an alternate summit route is actually up right in front of El Bastardo, right at the base of El Bastardo, and there is a wash, a ridge that you can ascend up to the summit of the La Madre ridgeline. Not sure, I haven't done that yet, but I believe it's possible. And then here's El Padre. We've seen it a bit ago. What we're going to do now is skirt a few of these, or just travel over a few of these intervening ridges and try not to get too high until we reach the ridge line and canyon that will lead us up to the southern notch, which is around the right side, east side of El Padre. So yeah, it was a little more complicated, the route we took, but still, you gotta ascend to this level no matter what route you take. So here we are, and what an amazing view. And we just descended from the wash below. That's why I like to be on ridges instead of washes whenever I get a chance. But we learned a lot in that wash. That was a good experience. Okay, onward.
So David, what are you thinking about all of those?
I think it's beautiful,
Yeah, look at that.
and I want to see what's up there.
Oh, there's another ridge.
Yeah, yeah, but I think that, yeah, the Brownstone Trail is right below, and so on the return trip we hit the Brownstone Trail, take it down, cross over to the limestone
Yeah.
wash, and take the limestone back. So yeah, I know it's gonna be a lot easier, more direct going back.
So David, what are you thinking about all of those?
I think it's beautiful,
Yeah, look at that.
and I want to see what's up there.
Oh, there's another ridge.
Yeah, yeah, but I think that, yeah, the Brownstone Trail is right below, and so on the return trip we hit the Brownstone Trail, take it down, cross over to the limestone
Yeah.
wash, and take the limestone back. So yeah, I know it's gonna be a lot easier, more direct going back. Okay, here we are closing in on the La Madre El Padre notch. And there on the right is La Madre Mountain, on the left, El Padre Mountain. We'll just do a 360. We're above the Brownstone, the top of the Brownstone Trail. And hindsight says that it would actually have been easier to get to this point from Jean's Trailhead and just go over to the Brownstone Basin and take the Brownstone Road and Trail. So yeah, you can see Red Rock Canyon, the Rainbow Mountains. Then over here, Turtlehead Peak. And then here is Gray Cap Peak and Ridge. And we're looking at the Brownstone Basin here. And then over this direction is Damsel Peak, Gateway Peak, and I'm not sure what some of those are, but I know this is Little La Madre, and then back to La Madre and El Padre, and the notch between. And you see we do have some traversing to do. We're going to, yeah, I wouldn't recommend the route we took. If you're looking for the quickest way to the notch, I would start at Jean's Trailhead and just head up over to the Brownstone Basin, up Brownstone Road. And by the way, Brownstone Road and Trail, there is, see that circle down there? That's the top of the Brownstone Trail and Road. That's the turnaround at the top of the Brownstone Trail and Road, and then tracing the road down. Let's see if we can nail it. There we go. Yeah, from the turnaround down, that's the Brownstone Road and Trail, and you can see it descending down into Brownstone Canyon. So what we're thinking is that the best way to get over to that notch from this point is to just try to navigate higher on the intervening ridge lines where there'd be more of a crossing that's it's a lot more friendly than what we're looking at down below here. I don't know, around 8,000 feet, maybe 7,800. So we are very close, but we've hit our turnaround time. So there you're looking up at the La Madre Cliffs from very close. And yeah, next time what we're going to do is a more streamlined approach to this location. And there again is Damsel Peak. And over here, Gateway Peak. And then you can see the Las Vegas Valley in the distance beyond. So yeah, we are way up there, and you can see pine trees, junipers up in this area.
David, what do you think about this shortcut from over there till here?
It did the job.
Yeah.
And it lands us right in the beginning of the canyon down there.
Yeah.
And that's what we want, the Limestone Trail.
Yes, absolutely. We could see.
Elevation gain and loss. We're trying to keep our elevation, which is great. So, yeah, this is working.
Yeah, it was very regular to go down here. We have some bump to do, but I mean, most of the time we were keeping the altitude, the elevation going. Okay, now we will talk about ascending the Red Cap. Why such a name? It seems evident, okay? So, from the Sandstone Quarry parking lot, you take the trail to Calico tank that are on the sunny side of the canyon this way, but at the moment you have a bifurcation, you stay on the left to turn on the bottom of Red Cap. When you're on the bottom of Red Cap, you can't see the Red Cap, you see only this vertical yellow cliff. So you have to turn all around the mountain until the trail start to go down and continue into Ashes Canyon. But then you have to leave it on the right and observe the profile of the back of the Red Cap. You will see that at mid-8 you have a kind of balcony that goes from the right on the bottom to the left on the left corner. So you find your way to reach the right extremity of this balcony, and then you will be on a very large place that goes up until it brings you through a tunnel under a rock on the right corner of the Red Cap, where the first depression starts there on the right. So we can see it from here, but on the back of it, there is an easy access on the right to reach the first red rock that you turn on the back. Then you have to climb a little step, probably 4 feet tall, 4 or 5 feet tall. And then this is the final easy access to the summit. So to come back, you have to go down on the other side until the end of the red rock, turn on your right, going down, reaching the point that you reach when you came from the other side, and you could go down on a very steep slope, but easy because there's a lot of easy rocks to go down. On the very right of this mountain, on the bridge where there is a lot of tree, and then basically you go down directly to the Calico Trail. So it makes a loop, beautiful mountain. The overlook over there is amazing. It's a central place in the Red Rock Canyon, and this is basically the only place where you could see all of the mountains around and in the Red Rock Canyon. This is probably the only point.